and that means you're going to go up against bigs, and you're going to get injured. And Westbrook has been a player that's super talented, but can drive me crazy. He doesn't have a lot of. He's got one gear, which, by the way, sometimes you need that gear, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I would not doubt that. But it was very interesting. Nuggets, Clippers. Clippers outplayed them for about 3 quarters, and then the Nuggets made a decision in the 4th quarter. We're going with Russ. And you got the full Russell Westbrook experience. Hero baskets, insane energy, turnovers, questionable decisions. But, man, you got rebounding. Man, you got energy. And for a 6'4" guy in a league of people that are 7 feet tall, you can't miss him. So he's got this quality where when you watch him and he's on your favorite team, you're holding your breath a little. But I thought Denver needed his energy, and the coaching staff deserves credit. They're like, we're playing him, and we're getting him out there. And I thought he was incredibly valuable. And, again, if you run down his plays, it's a lot of hit and miss. He was 1 for 6 from the field in the first 3 quarters. And the Denver staff is like, no, we're going to go with Russ. And this team is so Jokic dependent. It's a one-man Jokic.
Okay, a one-man Jokic. Okay, let's talk about this, because Westbrook will forever be one of the most difficult players for people to really grasp what he can bring to the table. And it's understandably so. Some of it is self-inflicted on Russ's part, because he does only have one gear. And you can't always have one gear. That's not conducive to playing winning basketball. Denver Nuggets fans should know that, because Jokic has multiple gears at multiple times throughout a game, throughout a quarter, throughout a season, throughout a playoff series. You see it with Jamal Murray. Like those players understand it. But with that said, sometimes it's not just about the points. Sometimes it's not just about the production. You do need that energy. You do need that intensity that not all players have. Not all players have that. And in the playoffs, you need it. So Westbrook absolutely undeniably brings some levels of intensity and energy that you really do feed off of. When you're a fan at home watching it and you can feed off the energy, like it's a similar effect to players, both offensively and defensively, whether you're on the Nuggets or playing against the Nuggets. Like, you feel it, you see it, you sense it. Just even having defense, like, even if you don't expect, Westbrook to like put up a lot of points and, go 5 for 17 from shooting, even defensively, it's exhausting to kind of have to deal with that. Even if it leads to a missed shot, it's still just a lot. You have to be on your guard. You have to be alert. You have to be awake. No plays off. So it can be tiring. It can absolutely be tiring and energizing for your own team. But you do this. I think Colin actually did put it right, where you get the full experience of Russell Westbrook, where he's going to be able to make some awesome plays, do some big stuff, but also be like, oh my God, what are you doing? Like, it's not so clear to me that Russ, I mean, I don't even want to say not so clear to me. I'm pretty confident that the Nuggets should not have Russell Westbrook be putting up 17 shots. That's too many. That's too many. Jimmy Butler had 19 shots and Steph Curry had 19. Russell Westbrook should not be shooting pretty much right around the same number as them. He just shouldn't. He's not good enough offensively. And you can see that because you can see the difference of points that they scored. So that's always the frustrating thing with Russ, is that there's not a lot of nuance to his game. And that is why you always get a lot of highs and a lot of lows. And that has been throughout his entire career for every team he's played with, especially OKC. He can give you this energy. He can give you this intensity. He wants the ball. And listen, when we watch the playoffs, there's plenty of games that you see, plenty of series, plenty of moments when you're kind of just like, these guys don't want the ball. They play hot potato. There's 3 minutes left, 4th quarter, and like everyone's just afraid and tight and uncomfortable. And Westbrook, if you said, hey, Russ, like, don't pass the ball at all for the next 10 minutes and just do it all yourself, you'd be like, okay, got it, let's go. And that is a superpower in itself. There is a fearlessness that Russ plays with that, like I said, it's intoxicating, and it influences the other team. But the problem is sometimes it can overshadow and outshine, and not necessarily in the positive way, some of the other players, which is why, people have always kind of, and again, appropriately so, criticized his ability to play winning basketball on a team. And again, I think that's totally a fair assessment. And I do think it's a little frustrating with the Nuggets, because Colin's like, oh, they need that. And it can be a little frustrating because you're like, well, they shouldn't, right? Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Jokic, like that four right there should be enough. It should be like 90% of the shots right there. You shouldn't need to have a Russell Westbrook be putting up 17 field goals. At this point, Russ should be almost kind of like, obviously their games are wildly different, Draymond Green, but it should almost be a similar flavor to that. Really pick your moments when you're going to drive, when you're going to shoot. It should be so much more strategic and intentional. And Russ does not bring that. But they bring similar levels of intensity and do a lot of like the dirty work, a lot of the stuff that doesn't show up in the box score. But I mean, this game is awesome. I'm excited for this series to continue. Obviously, I talked about both these teams going into the series. A lot of people were downplaying who the Nuggets are and what they can have, and we're already counting them out. And I was like, that's nonsense. And same thing with the Clippers. People tried to paint that Clippers win against the Warriors was like an issue for the Warriors, and I'm like, no, the Clippers are a great team. They're so well balanced, and it's awesome. Game 1, overtime, 112 to 110. I mean, like this series has the potential to really go back and forth. This is a hard fought series. Don't let anyone try to tell you otherwise. For both these teams, this is just, it's an awesome place to be in. And if you're a basketball fan, it's like this is great. This was the best game, obviously. Obviously if you're a Nuggets fan or a Clippers fan, you're going to have a little bit more specific views on it. But as a general fan, it's just like, this is basketball. This is what you want. This is what you've waited since, essentially like September, October for these games to unfold this way. So I'm happy that it answered the call for this, because the Lakers, Minnesota Timberwolves game didn't. The Rockets, Golden State game. Again, if you're a Timberwolves fan, it did, and if you're a Golden State Warriors fan, it did. But like, if you're just looking to watch some like real back and forth basketball, it's like this was the game. This was the game, because it really did have a little bit of everything. And again, anytime you're going into overtime like that, in game 1 playoffs, round 1, you're setting the tone. You're setting the tone. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Denver Nuggets game 1 win against the Clippers? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.